This is an area that would be right at the second Shelton exit and be one of the first things people visiting Shelton would see of the area. It would also have a negative impact on the Ingleside Hill community. Logging trucks driving up Turner, increased road noise from Highway 101, and increased wind and dangerous conditions for the neighborhood's many older growth trees, and a generally blighted look for the homes in the area for decades. But the biggest impact would be to the logged area itself. There's a great diversity of trees in that space, including some older growth. There are existing trails down to the creek where people have walked their dogs and their kids for decades. The area is perfect for a nature preserve or a community park. We have learned that Menke Lumber is willing to sell the property, and the Capital Land Trust organization was working to raise funds to preserve it. The city itself has an interest in the property as part of its vision for parks and recreation. This trail could actually be connected with the existing Ravenna and Goldsboro trails to create a unique walking experience in the future. Bottom line, we in the community would like to see the city and county work with the Land Trust and Menke to find a mutually beneficial way to create a beautiful public space for future Shelton generations. We're asking that action be taken now before the logging commences, because once the old trees are gone, the opportunity will be lost forever. And one last thing, we recognize that your first reaction may be to point out that this property is not inside city limits, but it does abut the city line, and the city has a vested interest in through its urban growth strategy and the concern of its citizens. This problem has a solution. We just need to all be forward-thinking, come to the table, and work together to create and agree to a plan and a timeline.
The area that she's talking about is an incredible ecosystem. It's not just some trees. That ecosystem includes a salmon creek. Those old growth trees are not old growth, but old trees, large trees, beautiful trails, and birds. It's a birder's paradise.
At the risk of admitting to trespassing, I've spent many hours walking through the myriad of trails, old-growth fir trees, and wildlife that lives there. One of my forays took me all the way down to the edge of Goldsboro Creek, where I could have followed the creek right to downtown Shelton or left to Highway 101. There aren't many urban places like this. I hope that we can collectively, I mean that collectively, find a way to preserve this gem.
I don't think a lot of you realize is that the safety issue involved with the logging. I'm a professional truck driver, and I can personally tell you that that Turner Avenue is not designed for truck traffic. It will destroy Turner Avenue. So Menke's are they willing to pay for that to get all completely repaved? As a taxpayer, I'm not, I don't feel the burden should fall on us as to repave Turner Avenue. Also, another safety factor I don't think a lot of you realize is trucks don't stop on a dime. They just don't. You've got a logging trucks going up and down that road, and there's a park at the bottom with little kids that keep going out and on the street. So what happens when a little kid decides they're going to go after their ball or something when they get down to the bottom? They get hit by a truck and killed. Anybody here want to have blood in their hands from a kid? I don't. And then another aspect that I don't think a lot of you realize is that the maneuverability, when they do get to the bottom of the hill, how are they going to, you can't make that turns without going to oncoming traffic and get around that corner safely. So how are you going to get traffic control with log trucks?
20, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, that area up there is going to be surrounded by homes. Why can't we have a park up there, and Menke's and all these different trust companies, Capital Trust is looking into this. I would like to say, and I think most of us up here, before any logging is done, let's wait and study this out to see if we can all somehow work together to save this. Get the California developers in here, and they're going to take everything they want and whack everything down. It's happening all over Olympia. We don't need that in our town. We can save that piece of ground.
We already have a road up there that has a weight restriction on it, and I think it's probably due to a poor road bed, leaking water pipes, aquifer draining, not sure. But if you've ever been down on a railroad after a good rain, you'll notice the gullets on both ways of traffic, because they do have the heavy-duty trucks do come through town. Turner, from about 10th Street to the top, is in pretty bad shape. I can probably point out 4 or 5 places in the center of the road where there's probably a leaking water pipe underneath, and I'm not real sure that the road will withstand the weight of how many trucks are going to run through there, but they're about 80,000 pounds. Another thing I have a concern about is the noise that's going to be generated. If you walk down into the wooded area, and the closer you get to 101 and the intersection of Railroad 101, the noise level increases. And I'm sure that when those trees go down, then you're probably going to have that noise level down on the residential streets up there.